Hey everyone, and welcome to the start of another video. Normally I do vlogs, but today I thought we'd do a sit down video, and I wanted to go through some of your questions and some of your comments just recently on videos, because some of them are really interesting and I thought you might be interested to hear some of them. A couple of you, Jennifer and Emma, because I was talking in that little video about how in the UK, I think this is so out of order, you know, there's this E. coli thing going around, and it's from food in the supermarkets, but I don't believe currently that they have told us what the cause is. So you could go into the supermarket and buy something that they know's got E. coli or has a chance of having E. coli, but they don't want to tell us, which I think is really out of order. Anyway, my suspicion was that it was bagged salad. And one of you, Emma, has said that you think it's the salad too. But Jennifer has said apparently in the news it came out that it was packaged dairy. So I'm going to go with packaged dairy as having been what it could be. Now, it also in that little video, we obviously bought some food. We got a couple of steaks, a bottle of wine and lots of fruits. And Susan wanted to know, how was the Pinot Grigio and the steak? Was it any good? And I've got to say, the food there is excellent. David and I finished, I think there was 650 grams of strawberries. Within 2 days, we'd both finished them. They were so good. They were the sweetest strawberries we've ever eaten. The wine was excellent. Those steaks were brilliant. I just can't recommend the place enough. I'm going to come on to a comment in a minute that, oh, hang on, I've just found it. I'm going to come on to a comment next, which sort of is rather unfair, and I don't really understand how this person has come to this conclusion, but I'm going to read this out next, because it kind of ties back to that point of what I was just saying about how we were very impressed with the food, not just eating it, but actually in the supermarket itself. We've never been in there for a couple of reasons that I'm going to come on to, because it kind of like ties in with this next comment. But there are reasons why we've never been into a Lidl. I'll go on to those now. So the next comment, which is this one, it's kind of passive aggressive. It says, I just can't believe that you didn't know it was German. My gosh, I've never stepped into that store because we don't have them in Australia, but I knew about it and how it was the same as Aldi. You're coming across as a bit of a snob that you've not shopped there before. If you do shop at Aldi or this store, you will save a lot of money. Duh. Okay, to this person, I've never shopped in Aldi or Lidl because, to be quite frank, there's never been one close to me. And the one we went to was quite a drive away. There's none, even when we moved house a few years ago, there wasn't one near us. So that's why we've never been to one. It's got nothing to do with being a snob about it at all. It's just that there's never been one near us. If there was, I'd have tried it a long time ago. My secondary reason for not going there is, as I said in that video, I've had so many people tell me that you can't do a full shop there. I've had so many people say, oh, it's full of weird stuff and there's this crazy middle aisle and the food there is all a bit odd. And so obviously I'm not going to go and drive somewhere where everyone's told me this, but having been there and discovering that that's not necessarily true, I would like to go there again. I'm also very keen to try Aldi, but they're the reasons why we've never been. There happens to be a Waitrose that's really close to us, and even where we lived before, it was Waitrose that was close to us then, so that's why we tend to go in there as opposed to anywhere else. It's just so, the Waitrose we're near is like really, really close, so that's why we always shop from there and not anywhere else, really. Brittany has said that you loved that video with Lidl. Could I do a follow-up? What did I think of the groceries? As I mentioned earlier, the groceries were wonderful. They were fresh, they were delicious. The steaks were just perfect. You know, that wine was about £4 something. Let's call it £4.10p. It wasn't a lot. And normally when you pay that price for wine, you get what tastes like vinegar. And so, but we bought it, and at the time we thought, well, You know, it's either going to be amazing or it's not going to be so great. It was brilliant. It was really very good. It was better than other Pinot Grigios I've had. And in fact, David, who doesn't even like wine, tried some and he ended up having a glass of it himself. So it was very good. Steffi also has a similar thing here. So you've said that you love this new channel, which I'm so pleased about. And you said, after seeing the video, I'd love to know, what do you think about the steaks? Because for me, meat in Lidl is a big no. But I must say that the quality is not good in all supermarkets compared to the local butchers. You're so right. I think if you're going to buy meat, going to a butcher is like the best thing to do. But there's so few of them these days, isn't there? Now they're kind of the baker, the butcher, etc. They're hard to find. Now you've got to go to a supermarket that does it all, kind of thing. Really interesting comment here from Johnny, who has said, I think it might be worth exploring videos about more than just shopping. No judgment, I definitely enjoyed your other channel and I totally support your shift into more than just luxury. Your personality is so cool and down to earth, and you have that special quality which makes you seem like you're on our side, so to speak. My absolute fave videos on your other channel were actually the ones where you tell anecdotes about your experiences. Ghosts, being a broke student, how you ended up in your career, etc. And I would love to see more of your thoughts and feelings about life and living it. Like you have a sort of cafe philosophy stream of consciousness that is really fun to watch and listen to. And you've said that in response to some of my other videos, you've actually sold quite a few things, like from your luxury collection, and so on. So thank you for your comment and your feedback. I've actually had loads of you asking for ghost story videos, because I don't know how many of you saw it, but I did a ghost video several years ago now, and so that was the biggest thing that's ever happened to me in that video. Those two things are the biggest thing that ever happened to me. And again, on my Patreon channel, I kind of went into a lot more detail on it. I did a video a while ago now where I spoke about that video, but I spoke about more personal things related to that I didn't want to talk about in that video that was going out to like 300,000 people, kind of thing. Like personal things to do with my grandparents, which is, you know, partially what that video was about. But the truth is, I've had various little bits and pieces happen over the years that are sort of like ghostly, spiritual things. But that's my biggest story. The things that have happened have been little things that I could tell you that would take 30 seconds to tell you. That's the biggest thing that's ever happened to me that's really, really freaked me out. So I don't necessarily have a whole load more ghost stories I can tell you, but and I feel like I've said all of my story times, you know that. Again, going back to Patreon, I do talk on Patreon about story times, but they're things that for whatever reason I don't want to tell the story mainstream. I want to tell it in private. Patreon is like a private place where I've got a very small group of people there. I feel like we're all really good friends, and I feel a lot freer there than I do on my main YouTube channel. I feel over there I can say a lot more. But yeah, my plan, Johnny, is to do more than just shopping. The next question is from Wendy, and I love this. It's so cute. So you said that you've been meaning to ask about my pink bracelets. Can I tell you all about them soon? So it's very 5-year-old, but it's a vibe. I don't care. So I've got these bracelets and some on the other wrist as well. This one has got like a duck on it. Hopefully you can see that. That's got a duck on it. This one's got like a donut, and this one is rose quartz. The others are just like plastic, and this one's, I've put the word balance on it so that when I look at it, I remind myself in the day to like not work too hard, but not play too hard, like have that level of balance. This one's got my name on it. So some of them I made, some of them I bought, and one of them I was given. I don't know, I started wearing one because I made it, because I tell you why. I made a matching thing for my phone. Do you know what's really weird? Since making this, I've had a couple of friends ask me to make them one. And I made this at an event that I went to, but actually I went onto Amazon, and you can buy kits to make these for your phone, and you can pick all different coloured beads. If you want, I can link to that. I know you can get blue, green, orange and pink, possibly yellow as well. So there's all different options there, but they're the bracelets, and I appreciate you noticing them. Thank you, Wendy. This next one is from Catnip. I love you. I love seeing your name here. There's so many of you, like all of you, like Wendy, Daniel, who I think I remember saying, are you from Australia? But this one, I'm a fan so I spoke about the red light mask and about how it's good, but it's not a miracle worker. And you've kind of confirmed what I was thinking, really. You said that you're a fan of it, use it for 10 minutes every other day. No miracles, but my skin looks healthier and nobody asks me if I had a facelift. And I would sort of agree. I find that it makes your skin more even and less textured, but it's not going to give you the effects of Botox. That's what I said in that video, and I kind of showed some what I think are fake adverts for it. I've seen these before, and when I've seen these pictures of before and afters, someone with really, really deep lines, and then apparently they've used this mask for 4 weeks and they've got a smooth forehead, and I'm just like, no. That doesn't work. It's good, but it's not that good. The next one. Oh, yes. I just wanted to address this as well. Because I felt like this was a bit unfair. So in the TK Maxx video, we went in and there was a brand called US Polo Association. And I'd never heard of it before. It's not a UK brand. And it looks to me, although some of you have told me it's been around pre-Ralph Lauren, but it looks like Polo Ralph Lauren to me, the logo, etc. And I had a comment saying, weird to hear someone talk about things they don't seem to know about. US Polo Association is an absolutely eligible company. It's sometimes better to think and do some research before saying things that aren't true. Okay, I felt that your comment was rather angry when it didn't need to be. And Catnip did actually write back and say, I live in the US and I've never heard of it. I never want to offend anyone, okay? I walked into the store, I saw it, I thought it was Polo Ralph Lauren. I looked at the label and it wasn't, and I just wondered if it was an imitation brand, and it may or may not be. But that's that. Oh, the next one is from Emre. I love Emre as well. I feel like I know personally so many of you. You've said, hi Sophie, I really love your new channel. The TK Maxx, also with the music, gives me year 2000 vibes. Honestly, the music in the store that day made me angry in the end. It was quite loud, and I'm embarrassed to say it was stuff I like. It was Backstreet Boys, it was NSYNC, it was Britney Spears, but it was really loud. You couldn't hear yourself think. And I had this particular, I'm not lying, I had this particular Backstreet Boys song stuck in my head for about 4 days after I went in there, and it drove me mad. And I know what you mean, very year 2000. You always wonder whether the stuff is indeed real or fake. I'm aware of the fact that they are not allowed to sell fakes, but Bethany Frankel once made a video where she said that TJ Maxx in the US was busted for selling fakes from famous brands, if I'm not mistaken. And one of you wrote back, Orange Snowflake said, I once bought some sunglasses from there and they were fake. I can't remember I can't remember now which brand they were trying to be, since I took them home and they weren't good quality. And I Googled it to try and find the exact ones, and it turns out they were replica or fakes. I've heard this too. On my main channel, I feel like I can say it over here. No, I'm not going to say it over here. On my main channel, I did a video about some bona fide, legitimate stores that have been done for selling fakes. And there were two or three that I was talking about, but I didn't want to name them because, that's a big thing to kind of accuse someone of selling fakes when, you need hard evidence. But I had heard this. Bethany Frankel, oh my gosh, I saw her video where she was refused entry to Chanel. And they were making up something about how she needed to have an appointment, and then somebody went in after her and they didn't have an appointment. Sounds awful. And the next question, I've got two from Tanisha and Tulin, I think Tulin, who has said, basically, why don't I eat bread? Tell you why we don't eat bread. I'm sorry, it gives terrible IBS. We just can't take bread. And I love bread. Oh my God, I love bread with some butter on it. Oh, it's just delicious. But if I even look at bread, and David's the same, I look like I'm having a baby and I'm in pain. And that's, I know that's too much information, but that's why I don't eat bread. And David's the same way. That's why he doesn't eat it. This other one has said, hi, Sophie. How long is this video? 20 minutes. I'll cut this short in a minute. Hi, Sophie. Would love for you to speak more about living a child-free life. How people need to stop the questions and start respecting the choices of other women. And a lot of you wrote back and said this, or like thumbs up, or one of you said 100%. Imagine a world where it's just normal not to have kids. As normal as it is to have them. I'm so tired of the shocked reactions or people trying to convince you otherwise. I would agree. And do you know one thing that really, it annoys me more than it annoys David, actually. It doesn't really bother him. But when people are like, oh, do you have kids? Or if I'm with my nieces and nephews and people are like, oh, are they your kids? And then when I say they're not, they're like, okay, that's weird. Where are your kids? And I'm like, oh, I don't have any. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is that gets me the most? Is I feel like people assume you can't have them. And then or they think that you're a bad person for choosing not to have them. And both options are unfair. And just imagine if you were literally talking to somebody who wanted them and couldn't have them. And you were saying something or not. Sometimes people don't even need to say anything. They can give off a vibe that's kind of like, oh, okay, yes, you're a bit strange. You don't have kids. I just think it's really, really unfair, you know. But I feel like, I don't know how many of you feel the same way, but I think things are getting better. I know a lot of my friends have chosen not to have kids for their own reasons. And I think it's becoming more accepted. And I've noticed in the last 3 years, people ask less. People before would be like, oh, do you have kids? If so, how many? Blah, blah, blah. What school do they go to? And you say, oh, well, actually, I have chosen not to have any. It's not really for me, you know. But now I feel like people in society ask less, and it's not just of me. I've noticed with my friends, we had this conversation a while ago, and I said to them, funny, you should all ask. I said, is it me, or have you noticed people ask less, or is it me? And they said, no, you know, we've noticed it too. It's more accepted now, not to have kids for whatever your reason. And I think that's how it should be. I think everyone should do them, and there shouldn't be any judgment if somebody doesn't want them or does want them or is unsure if they want them, because that can be a thing as well. You get some people and they're torn between yes or no, and that can be an awful place to be, you know, when you're just not sure, and you've got those time pressures as well of I've got to make my mind up by a certain time, but I just don't know. I think that's actually a worse situation to be in, that sort of not knowing. But I have done a whole video on that. But I'm trying to think if there's anything I can really add to that conversation that I didn't say in that video. And I don't think that there is. I think I said everything that I would need to say about it. I don't feel that there's anything I can say in a video to all of you watching here that I wouldn't have said there. So I don't know if there's any point in doing another video, like revisiting it. But I don't know. If I think of anything that I didn't mention, then maybe, yes, I can do that. I have no problem talking about it. It's interesting topic. Anyway, I'm going to cut it short here because this video is about 20 minutes. I hope that you've all enjoyed watching this, and if you have any questions or if you've got any requests for new videos, keep them coming in. I've had a lot of you asking for garden centre videos, farmers markets, story times, although as I've said, I feel like I've told all of my story time. I've told all of the story times I'd be happy sharing with the internet, put it that way. I have many story times, but you know, the ones that I'm happy to tell. Anyway, yeah, keep your comments coming in and your requests coming in, and I will certainly get onto those. Thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next video.